Hugh Beaumont harbored a deep dislike for the spotlight more than most. Born as Eugene Hugh Beaumont on February 16, 1909, in Lawrence, Kansas, he was raised in a modest Midwestern home that instilled in him strong ethical and spiritual beliefs. These guiding principles would shape not only his private life, but also his professional journey. His formative years were steeped in the values of America's heartland, and his eventual relocation to California broadened his horizons, introducing him to both the world of acting and religious study. Beaumont initially enrolled at the University of Chattanooga, but later transferred to the University of Southern California, where he earned a master's degree in theology. This solid spiritual grounding distinguished him from many of his Hollywood peers. Even as he pursued a career in acting, Beaumont remained devoted to his faith, frequently serving as a guest preacher at various Southern California churches when he wasn't filming. His religious convictions served as a deep source of personal inspiration, bringing a sense of sincerity, moral direction, and quiet strength to many of his characters. Most notably, Ward Cleaver, a role that resonated with audiences for its depth and authenticity. Beaumont began his journey in show business during the 1940s, appearing in numerous low-budget productions and film serials. Often cast as strong, upstanding characters, he found early recognition in film noir, especially in his portrayal of private investigator Michael Shane in a string of detective films. His commanding stature, calm voice, and composed demeanor made him a dependable character actor of the era. He seamlessly navigated between B-movie thrillers, westerns, and the budding medium of television, gradually building a diverse portfolio that would ultimately lead to the defining role of his career. That moment came in 1957, when Hugh Beaumont became a household name as he stepped into the shoes of Ward Cleaver on Leave It to Beaver. The series, which focused on the everyday life of the Cleaver family, deeply resonated with American viewers during the conservative post-war period. As Ward, Beaumont played the archetypal 1950s father, authoritative yet affectionate, firm yet compassionate. His on-screen presence brought warmth, wisdom, and gentle discipline, guiding his sons Wally and Beaver through life's moral lessons with calm and patience. His on-screen chemistry with Barbara Billingsley, who played June Cleaver, helped cement the Cleavers as one of the most iconic and cherished families in television history. Though the show's initial success was modest, reruns eventually turned it into a timeless classic, and Beaumont's portrayal became a gold standard for father figures on screen. Away from the camera, Beaumont was committed to fostering a respectful and nurturing environment on set. He was known for taking a genuine interest in the well-being and education of the show's younger actors, often helping them rehearse their lines and urging them to keep up with schoolwork. His real-life fatherly influence extended beyond the scripts, earning him admiration and respect throughout the entertainment industry. After Leave It to Beaver concluded in 1963, Beaumont remained active in Hollywood, although his appearances became more sporadic. He took on guest roles in various popular shows such as Petticoat Junction, Mannix, and The Virginian. In addition to acting, he ventured into writing and directing, showcasing his creative talents behind the scenes as well. By the late 1960s, he began to gradually retreat from the entertainment world, redirecting his focus toward his personal life and spiritual calling. Eventually, he embraced a quieter lifestyle as a tree farmer in Minnesota, finding peace and fulfillment in the simplicity of rural life, an experience worlds apart from the hustle and glitz of Hollywood. Hugh Beaumont's contributions extended far beyond his memorable screen performances. Over the course of his career, he displayed impressive versatility by establishing himself not only as an actor, but also as a talented writer. He successfully sold numerous television scripts, demonstrating his skill in crafting compelling narratives that catered to the golden age of television. His writing wasn't confined to television alone. He also penned scripts for radio, a medium that demanded sharp dialogue and vivid storytelling without the aid of visuals. Moreover, Beaumont made his mark in print by contributing short stories to various well-known magazines of the time. These literary efforts further solidified his creative legacy, revealing his deep understanding of character development and story structure, skills that undoubtedly enhanced his acting as well. As the entertainment landscape began to change and fewer acting opportunities presented themselves, Beaumont made a deliberate shift away from Hollywood. In pursuit of a more grounded and peaceful existence, he embarked on a completely new path, one that might seem surprising to many. He became a Christmas tree farmer. Purchasing land in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, Beaumont dedicated himself to cultivating and maintaining a thriving Christmas tree farm. This second act in his life allowed him to reconnect with nature and provided a welcome change of pace from the often chaotic demands of show business. The seasonal rhythm of tree farming may have offered him a sense of stability and predictability, elements that Hollywood rarely afforded. It reflected a conscious desire for serenity and a return to the fundamentals of life, aligning closely with the values he had held since childhood. Sadly, Beaumont's later years were marked by declining health, bringing his otherwise active life to a quieter close. In 1970, Hugh Beaumont faced a life-altering health crisis when he was struck by a debilitating stroke. This serious medical event became a major turning point in his life, prompting him to reevaluate the pace and demands of his career. Having spent years juggling his passion for storytelling with his newfound love for tree farming, Beaumont made the difficult but necessary decision to step away from acting permanently. By 1972, he officially retired from the entertainment industry. This retirement marked not only the conclusion of a multifaceted professional journey, but also symbolized a well-deserved period of rest after decades devoted to artistic and personal endeavors. Though he chose to live more privately after leaving Hollywood, Hugh Beaumont's association with his most iconic role as Ward Cleaver never faded. In 1980, he made a rare public appearance to participate in a special Leave It to Beaver cast reunion. Organized by a local television station in Los Angeles, the event was a touching tribute to the show's lasting impact and a testament to Beaumont's enduring role in American pop culture. It gave fans, colleagues, and industry peers a chance to honor his legacy and celebrate the timeless values that his character had come to represent. On the personal front, Beaumont's life off-screen held just as much meaning. He married actress Katherine Adams Doty on April 13, 1941, in a modest yet heartfelt ceremony at Hollywood Congregational Church. Their union, forged through shared experiences in the acting world, lasted over 3 decades, a notable achievement in an industry where relationships are often fleeting. The couple raised 3 children together, sons Hunter and Mark, and a daughter named Christy. Although they kept their family life relatively private, it was evident that home and family held a special place in Beaumont's heart, serving as a foundation for the quiet strength he displayed publicly. Sadly, after 33 years of marriage, Hugh and Katherine went their separate ways, finalizing their divorce in 1974. Despite this personal change, Beaumont's influence continued to resonate through his children, especially his eldest, Hunter. Steering clear of the spotlight his father once occupied, Hunter Beaumont made a name for himself as a psychotherapist and author. His contributions to the field of mental health were widely respected, and he later expanded his work internationally, spending significant years in Germany. There he played a prominent role in shaping the global dialogue around psychotherapy. His passing in 2023 marked the end of a profound journey, one that reflected the intellectual and thoughtful upbringing provided by Hugh Beaumont. While audiences remember Hugh Beaumont for the serene, wise, and ever-patient father figure he portrayed in Leave It to Beaver, the reality behind the scenes painted a more complex portrait. One of the lesser-known and rarely discussed elements of his time on the show was his intense personal dislike for co-star Tony Dow, who played his on-screen son, Ward Cleaver. Though the show showcased heartwarming father-son dynamics and wholesome family values, Beaumont's relationship with Dow off-camera was reportedly strained, and marked by growing resentment. A classically trained actor with deeply rooted principles, Beaumont had not entered Hollywood out of sheer passion, but rather out of practical necessity. Before stepping into the limelight, he had served as a Methodist minister and held a degree in theology, an academic and spiritual background that made him particularly disciplined and morally resolute. He brought these standards to his acting work and expected the same level of seriousness from his fellow cast members, regardless of age. Tony Dow joined the cast at the tender age of 12 with no previous acting experience. At first, Beaumont seemed willing to mentor the young actor, but that patience reportedly waned over time. Dow's frequent mistakes, youthful energy, and lack of formal discipline began to frustrate Beaumont, who viewed such behavior as disruptive to the show's flow and counterproductive to the high professional standards he aimed to uphold. As the series progressed, Beaumont's irritation apparently deepened. He allegedly saw Dow as the weakest link in an otherwise well-oiled cast. Although Dow's natural charisma and chemistry with Jerry Mathers, who played Beaver, made him a favorite among fans, Beaumont was said to have grown increasingly disillusioned with what he perceived as Dow's immaturity and occasional arrogance. According to some insiders, Beaumont even lobbied behind the scenes to have Dow replaced, though these efforts were never realized. Much of the tension stemmed from differences in both generation and temperament. Beaumont was a traditionalist with a firm belief in structure, authority, and television's moral responsibility. In contrast, Dow, though never disrespectful, embodied the changing tides of the late 1950s and early 1960s, a time when norms were shifting and youthful independence was gaining ground. His casual demeanor and lack of polish were often misread by Beaumont as laziness or a failure to take the work seriously. These contrasting worldviews created a growing emotional and ideological rift between them. Beaumont viewed his fatherly role on and off the screen with great solemnity. He took pride in setting an example for the younger actors, offering guidance, and sometimes even stepping in as a mentor. When Tony Dow failed to meet his rigorous expectations, the disappointment turned into lingering animosity. Reports from the set suggested that Beaumont found it difficult to reconcile the difference between the dutiful son he portrayed on screen and the young actor he had to work with in real life. As Tony Dow matured and grew more confident in his role, he began to occasionally voice his opinions or offer input regarding the direction of his character. While many on set viewed these actions as signs of growth and initiative, Hugh Beaumont perceived them differently. To him, a teenager asserting himself in such a professional setting was nothing short of overstepping his bounds. For Beaumont, a seasoned and classically trained actor, this behavior was emblematic of a larger cultural shift, a perceived erosion of respect for authority and elders. Outwardly, the dynamic between the two actors appeared amicable, a testament to their mutual professionalism. But beneath that surface, tensions brewed quietly. Beaumont, ever the consummate professional, ensured his personal feelings never interfered with his performance. However, those who were close to the production often noted his visible frustration during rehearsals and the cool, sometimes terse exchanges between him and Dow. Some speculated that Beaumont's overall discontent with Leave It to Beaver, a series he felt pigeonholed his artistic capabilities, was only intensified by his inability to form a meaningful connection with Dow. By the time the sixth and final season concluded, it's reported that Beaumont felt a distinct sense of relief, glad to step away from the role of Ward Cleaver and the strained interactions with his on-screen son. Even in public appearances and interviews following the show's conclusion, Beaumont rarely spoke of Dow with the same warmth or nostalgia that he reserved for other cast members. Those closest to him suspected that, among his professional relationships, the one with Dow was perhaps the most challenging and, to some extent, resented. In contrast, Tony Dow and other actors such as Jerry Mathers often reminisced fondly about their time on the show. Dow, in particular, either remained unaware of Beaumont's animosity or chose not to acknowledge it publicly. Regardless, for Beaumont, who embodied calm fatherhood on screen, the reality of working alongside Dow brought out a lingering frustration that contradicted the idyllic family unity portrayed on television each week. On May 14, 1982, While visiting his son Hunter in Munich, West Germany, Hugh Beaumont died from a heart attack at the age of 72. His passing marked the conclusion of a richly layered life that extended far beyond his iconic portrayal of Ward Cleaver on Leave It to Beaver. Beaumont's death was mourned not just by fans of the show, but by all who had known him in the many different roles he took on throughout his life. Beyond his fame as a television actor, Beaumont was a man of sincere conviction and spiritual grounding. A licensed Methodist minister, he had studied theology and retained his religious credentials, even as he pursued a career in Hollywood. Though he never took on a full-time pastoral position, he remained an active figure in religious circles, frequently officiating weddings, leading funeral services, and offering eulogies for loved ones and community members. His involvement in these ceremonies was not for show. Beaumont approached them with genuine compassion and a heartfelt sense of responsibility. His warm demeanor, steady presence, and unwavering moral compass made him especially effective in these roles. Many who attended the services he led spoke of the emotional resonance and authenticity he brought to each occasion, revealing the deeply spiritual nature that paralleled his on-screen persona. For Beaumont, these spiritual duties were not mere obligations. They were opportunities to extend comfort, offer guidance, and live out the values he quietly held dear. Aside from his theological pursuits, Beaumont was also gifted musically. Long before he ever graced the small screen, he had earned a reputation as a talented jazz drummer. This love for music never faded. Throughout his life, he regularly played with local jazz groups and often joined impromptu jam sessions with fellow musicians. His passion for rhythm and harmony was evident in his performances, which were both technically sound and emotionally rich. Whether in a cozy club or during informal get-togethers, Beaumont's drumming served as another outlet for his creative expression. His musical ability added yet another layer to his already multi-dimensional character, one seldom seen by fans who only knew him from television. Beyond music, Beaumont found peace in the natural world. A devoted outdoorsman, he often escaped to the serenity of the wilderness. Fishing was among his favorite activities, and he would frequently embark on long journeys to isolated lakes and rivers, sometimes with companions, other times in solitude. Camping and hiking also brought him great satisfaction. He relished the chance to leave behind the chaos of Hollywood and immerse himself in the tranquil embrace of forests, mountains, and streams. These solitary retreats not only recharged him, but also allowed him to reconnect with the contemplative side of his spirit. His loved ones often noted his reverence for the environment and his belief that time spent in nature was essential to one's well-being. Although his public image was that of the quintessential 1950s father, stoic, patient, and wise, those who worked closely with Beaumont knew he possessed a sharp, understated sense of humor. On the set of Leave It to Beaver, he was known for his dry wit and clever wordplay. He frequently lightened the atmosphere with puns, anecdotes, and playful teasing, creating a more relaxed environment during long filming days. Castmates like Jerry Mathers and Tony Dow later recalled Beaumont's ability to inject humor into even the most monotonous moments. His jokes were never loud or brash, but they left a lasting impression, often producing chuckles long after they were delivered. This quiet humor helped form the bond between cast members and contributed to the on-screen chemistry that made the show such an enduring success. Hugh Beaumont's legacy is not confined to reruns or nostalgic memories of a classic television series. His life was rich with purpose, talent, and integrity. Whether guiding a grieving family through a memorial service, playing jazz late into the night, hiking a secluded trail, or simply cracking a joke between takes, he brought with him a deep sincerity and a thoughtful presence. His contributions reached far beyond acting, touching the lives of many who never saw him on screen. Beaumont's enduring impact lies not only in the role that made him famous, but in the quiet, profound ways he lived his life, as a man of principle, creativity, and heart.